Howdy folks, I'm live. Let me just send a link to a cousin of mine. At home whilst I set this up. So, hi guys, just went around. There's the fire going. I just, hey Dave, how's it going? It's funny. I haven't started the fire in. Okay, but let me get out of the smoke. Better stated, I started the fire when I first got here, and today I did not. I mean, it was just ashes the entire day. I figured, let me just throw some wood in there, and maybe I'll start one tomorrow. And lo and behold, threw some wood. The embers were still hot. I stirred them up, left it alone, and 20 minutes later, well, got a good fire going. And I decided to, for those of you who are in my afternoon live, I had a pile about that big. This is the tops of the bamboo. The bottoms of the bamboo are, well, here. Some of them are back there. You see them folded up, 150 per package there. And then some of them are, well, in the bed of my truck. There's, the bed is about 3/4 full. I figure tomorrow I'll cut that little section there. That's another 30 that I didn't get to today. What else did I do today? Let's see. Back yesterday, I had trimmed all of these areas behind me. I neatened up, as you see, there's the trees, most of them are nice and clean, except like way back. And all the trees are right there in that brush here. 2 days ago, I had a bunch of trees from last month drying. I hauled them all to there, and they basically burned down to ash. And while there is still red hot ember near the bottom there, these are green. They're not going to take. So the embers will just die out. I'll be here for a few days just to make sure. But right there, I've got that ready for next month to start a burn pile. And what I'm going to do next month is start a burn pile here. And I don't know if I'll finish up the rest of Stump Island, as you see behind the shed, or not. Let me go and walk over to so far the greatest accomplishment I have is well, all of this too, but the lake. By the way, thanks to a very good neighbor, he explained to me something that I had not realized. My survey, for some reason or another, said that the end of my property, or alluded to that the end of my property was at this monument. I thought my property was a trapezoid. Turns out, I'm missing a whole triangle by the lake, so I actually do have lakefront. Well, you know, so officially no, as far as there is a neighbor that owns a sliver of property between me and the lake. However, that whole thing is underwater. So if I were to build a dock at the end of my property, it's in the lake. So I gotta, anyways, I'm walking towards, I'm tripping towards the lake here. Let me switch the view and show you what I'm talking about here, what I've accomplished last couple days. And there we go. So now take a look there. That is, I had at the beginning of this day, over on the right, I had this tiny little hole. As you see on the left side here, this is actually, let me align it with the property. Okay, this is the property line down the middle of this gap there. Well, I've I'm gonna clear all this section here. Now, down here, oops, right way, here we go, me. Okay, right practically where I'm standing, right at the edge there, in the middle of the picture, you'll notice there's a difference between grass and dirt there. That's where, not 4 days ago, there was a forest of bamboo. Remember, I had made a hole to the right of this tree in the middle here. Hang on a second. Let me get to the position where my camera was. Okay, so everything to the right of this first tree here, I had carved out a little area. From here, a line of bamboo to there. Basically, I cleared out from here to here, and from here to here, and a little tiny gap down there. Everything on this side was this last weekend. And so tomorrow, the goal is to eliminate all of this that's left. So I've got from the property line to the palm tree will be completely visible to the lake. And I gotta tell you, just when you think it's fantastic and it's peaceful and it couldn't get any better. 2 days ago, I was out here. Before I even mowed this section, I was over here on this side of the tree. I was just right there planted in my mower, looking at this view with that sun. Hang on, let me see if I can make it a little brighter or darker. I guess not. Well, anyway, the point is, I was sitting here. There was a cool breeze, kind of like there is now. Ducks across the lake. It was fantastic. Right now, there's also a bunch of bamboo that I've been clearing them out, and I strap 30 at a time and haul them up. And yeah, yeah, Joe, it's I got to tell you, the more work I do, the more energized I get. I mean, right now I'm wired, but I'm tired. It's a funny feeling. I'm like in a hyper state, but that's it for today. I'm done. I've been at practically sunrise. So, but anyway, this is let me switch the camera here. So that is the beautiful sunset that I get to look at. And around where that stump is, that stump just to over here, over my shoulder, there begins like a 30-foot drop in 30 feet and down to the lake. I'm going to start well, not now, but after the house is built. One of the projects that I have is to build a little dock or a pier or boardwalk, if you will. A boardwalk going straight out level. So it might have a bit of a drop, because straight out level means that by the time I get to my property line, it's going to be 30 feet in the air, which may not be a bad idea. We'll see how it looks. But I'll probably have it go out a few steps down, go out. It's going to wrap around the palm tree. For those of you who haven't heard this before, it's going to be basically an octagon walkway all around the palm tree with some benches, and then continue to like a seating area, a dock, if you will. So yeah, that's the only tough part about the property, is the hike up from the back. when I'm in the bamboo, I've learned to bundle it all together and haul it with the mower, because it's just too much. I was the first trip, I got maybe a third done in 3 days, and it was because I was hauling it up manually. And, well, that and I had the vines in the way. That was the biggest problem, is the vines. So, allow me to give you a tour of my wood pile. That's always interesting, I guess. All right, so we have ourselves. See, if you were following, if you've been following, I have a stretch this out a little more here. All right. You notice here, I have a wood pile, well, just a little taller than I can reach. You know. So this wood pile is for my campfire. It started with 3 or 4 piece logs that my cousin Israel, he goes to me, you should put the camper out here, and look at these trees. They make a perfect nest for a wood pile. And he put 2 or 3 logs there. Well, plant an idea in my head, especially a good one, because he comes up with both my cousins come up with fantastic ideas. Well, there it is. That is the first wood pile. Now I've gotten it up to the top, completely emptied it when my family was here, and back up to the top again. Well, then I got to clearing land. So if you'll notice, there's a second wood pile over here. And that's bigger logs, and there's some hickory and some cherry on the bottom, but it's mostly oak, a lot of oaks. And let me continue to share the next wood pile. This is the wood pile tour, because I got nothing better to do. And my cousin Alex requested on his drive home. He likes the occasional live, so here I am. All right, so the next wood pile was when I was clearing the back section, which is this one. Well, right now I've got a bunch of big pieces that I have to chop down, but this is the next wood pile. Now this wood pile is it's about a foot shorter than the other one, but it's about 3 feet longer, 3 or 4 feet. It's easily 12 feet wide. It's probably 6 feet longer than the other one. Anyway, so that's the next one. But I've been busy today. So today I finally cleared up most of the other areas, and yes, you guessed it, started a wood pile behind the wood pile. I just the way I see it is, if you've got a bug for hoarding, you might as well make it something that counts. For those of you who've ever played Minecraft, and I've played a lot of it in the past, I was one of those guys that I'd have chest after chest after chest after chest of wood, and just I'd spend my entire days on Minecraft just digging, chopping down forests, and replanting, accumulating supplies, accumulating, just And funny part is, I've thought about that a lot out here, because I've spent most of my days. It's funny, all the games you remember from youth, Age of Empire, even Warcraft, but Age of Empires, Minecraft, they're games that entitled you having a lumberjack and sending them out to chop trees, and then from there it all builds. Well, it's so funny because I keep thinking about those games now because I feel like I'm that lone real life lumberjack or the lumber guy or the timber guy just chopping wood. This is my next project. Well, no, sorry. The bamboo is my next project. But once I get cleared from the palm tree to the property, which will probably be tomorrow, this is my next project, which is um, the rest of Stump Island. This is going to be cleared. And here, I'll show you. I'll walk past it so you could see why I call it an island, which is exactly what it is. Now I will be leaving this big tree. Yeah, that big tree. I will be chopping down. There's a tree behind there somewhere. It's all rotted, and there's this lone little tiny one. I think that one's in the way of the house, so I'll probably get rid of that one. It's like a, I don't know, maybe 5-6 inch trunk, but it's not in good condition on the top either, so I'm going to lose it. Okay, so this right here, it's still the front of my well, let me see, where's the front of my property is directly behind me. The gate, the front gate, around the curve, you got to go. But anyway, so you can walk across the property there, and yet there it is, Stump Island. There's an island here. Let me walk across the front of Stump Island. So this is one area that we didn't touch when my cousins had bush hogs. The reason why it's island is, as you'll notice, there's a bunch of down trees. Some of them are rotted trees that have just the big huge pieces have been collecting here. Some 2 or 3 trees have fallen, and 2 or 3 trees are a past neighbor dumped them on the property. They've just collected. So there's a nice little palm tree in the front. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. Again, another recommendation by my cousin Israel. He said, "Oh, why don't you clean this 20 feet and it cracked in half, lightning hit, I don't know, who knows, whatever." So, and we got this one by the shed. A bunch of carpenter ants have taken up residence. That's how badly rotted it is. I'm lucky the dead branches haven't already fallen on the shed, but there's still 1 or 2 live branches, but the whole tree is shot. Now, let me take you around the shed here, around the inside of Stump Island, and show you one of the reasons why I call it Stump Island. This is a stump. Now, let's see if I can give you a perspective of how big this stump is. If I can set this stupid thing up. Pardon my jittery movement here. And here we go. All right, so it's wider than it is tall, and it's about, a couple feet, 30 inches maybe tall. I do have long legs. I am short, but I have long legs. So. And then anyway, so that's going to be a task and a half to drag out of there. But anyway, so that's that. So that's the update so far. That's what I've done. I'm waiting for this brush pile to dry. I've stacked it up over what was once the heart of Stump Island, and there were a bunch of logs there. I have burned them all down on the last burn 3 or 4 days ago. So much so that they're still smoldering. Well, they're not smoldering, but I'm sure deep down inside, well, I wouldn't go diving barefoot in there if I were you. The only thing that worries me is when I light this thing, the last fire, you'll notice up there, it's quite far away, but it's over the shed. It's that rotted tree. It's the leaves are already dry because the wind was blowing in that direction. Now it's quite far, and probably has nothing to do with the fire, but I don't want to take any chances. I got dry leaves, and they're 40 feet maybe from, no, more than that, 50 or 60 feet from the brush. So I'm going to show you. However, you know, wind travels. See here, let me show you here. You see where the here's the brush, there's the brush, and there's the tree up there. So I mean, the brush is obviously going to go straight up, and this tree is way back there. So the brush is there by itself, but that tree, it's if the wind hits it just right, I don't mind that tree burning down because I'm going to take it down anyway. But I do mind if it takes down the rest of the forest. Well, folks, that's pretty much it. Tomorrow, I'm going to burn this little brush. That's nothing but bamboo tops, and I don't know if I'll burn that one yet. Like I said, tomorrow is bamboo day. Well, fire's still going, but it's more smoldering than anything else. It's just, you know, it's been a lot of wind lately. It's been dry. There was a rain this morning, a bit of a downpour, but it went away as fast as it came. I go sit in my camper thingy. In my walk around this fire, so I don't have to, you know. Yeah, the smoldering is because I raked up leaves, you know, around the. I tried to clear off a lot of dirt and leaves. I already had the fire on, so I couldn't rake them away because they'll just. So I raked them toward it and piled it up. My little mower. And by the way, I'm not the only one. Lower this thing here. I'm not the only one who has a fire going. Because remember, we're in the how shall I say, non-city area, more urban areas. So there's my neighbors. Hang on, let me just flip it this way. So great. There we go. So there's my neighbors. They have their own fire going. This is that's Jerry over there. They've always got a nice fire going. Well, I don't know if I'd consider it a nice fire. It's a fire. The gentle hum of the generator. Let me tell you, that thing has been a godsend. Where the heck is it? Yeah, there it is. There it is. That's a wonderful little tool. And bring it up here every time I come by. It's fantastic. It's nice and quiet. I don't hear a thing. I normally have a cover on it, but I'm about to fill it up with gas and go out for gas in a little while. One of my cousins said he'd drop by, so I'm just gonna wait around. If not, I'll give him a call. Let me head over to the sunset viewing area. hang on a second, guys. Ah, let's see. Why is this? So there we go. That's a little better. Okay. Hey, David, how are you? Just chilling here. Let's see here. Uh, set this camera just right. Catch the sunset. Pretty soon, um, that V that you see there, pretty soon. Well, the bottom of the V that you see there at the bottom of the lake there, that's just a bamboo that I've cut that I've yet to drag up. I got to drag that all up tomorrow. On the left side, that whole left side of the V is going. That's all, again, bamboo that I'm getting rid of there. And then the right side, the up to the palm tree, I'm gonna knock out, and that's probably it for this trip. The next trip, because I want to concentrate a little more on the front of the property. Next trip, I'll get another second wind and attack the rest of the bamboo to the right. And I'm going to be clearing out quite a bit, quite a bit. So you'll probably, if you guys can see, let me see if I can. I don't know why this doesn't allow me to choose the magic thing here for. Oh, roll, beam, glow, nice, but where is bright is what I want. Oh, nothing. There's no bright here. Anyway, so there's a tree there to the right of the palm tree. That's probably another, I want to say 75 feet or so into the property line. So that's probably what my goal will be next trip. I'm going to go from the palm tree to that tree and see what are treasures I found. So let me describe what treasures I found this time around. I've got, let's see, one of the things I found was a 6-inch nail. Luckily, my mower didn't find it first. I was walking around and I saw it. I have found, I did find a monstrous piece of curved galvanized pipe. I don't know where in the world it came from, but it's pretty big. I also got some information today that the some time ago, 3-4 years ago, there was an issue with one of the power companies actually ran some posts here. Um, and I don't see any evidence of it. I know there's a depression around here, and anyways, apparently there was a pole here. They took the pole out, but there was a pole here, and then one of the electric companies, Seco, was there was problem after problem after problem. So then they switched to Duke Electric, and this is 2 neighbors down. So anyway, long story, but interesting nonetheless. And I'm looking forward to clearing this piece of land here, the bamboo section. By the way, for those of you who I'm the type of person who likes to, when I clean up or when I do a job or something, I kind of do it in 2 stages. I do just real the quick. Uh, Here, let me give you an example that works better. When I clean a section of my room, I throw it all into one box to make the whole place look neat room, and then I take my time and put each item away from the box. My wife has a different tactic. She will take each piece and put it where it goes right from the start. I can't do that because I it feels like it never gets clean that way. Whereas this way, well, anyway, so I'm using the same technique, or was using the same technique with the cutting of the bamboo. I was cutting. Uh, Let me look back. I always want to keep just make sure the fire's nice and safe. Uh, with the cutting of the bamboo, rather than cutting it down to the ground, I was just getting it out of my way, maybe a foot off the ground, 6 inch, because a lot of times when you cut one piece, it gets in the way of cutting the next piece. So rather than bending down and moving that piece or whatever, I would just cut the next piece and cut the next piece and create a pathway. As a result, I've got a bunch of 2 inch, 6 inch, 1 foot long stumps throughout the thing. And I figure, well, I'll get back to them. Well, you learn something you know, as as experience hits, and that is, it is a waste of time to do it double. In this particular instance, I'll still clean my room with that method, with the box method, for lack of a better word. But I am not going to any future stumps. I'm going to cut right down immediately down to the ground because it's just way too much effort to go back, locate all the other stumps, and you're basically doing double the work. Well, maybe not double the work, because if I do cut them down to the ground, I still have to, get in there and move them or whatever. I do not look forward to doing this section coming up here. This that is just gonna be a freaking nightmare. It's just vines and vines and vines and nothing but vines. I'm gonna spend the first day just pulling vines out. But anyway, once I get it all cleared up, cleared out of the vines, then it should go faster. I have created, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm hoping I can talk my cousins into coming in for a huge bonfire. Because the thing is, I'm good at creating small fires, but Israel is a master at I don't know. It's every time he starts a fire, it takes. I mean, um, I could start them, but they're campfires. I did a good brush pile, but that was because everything was drunk. Well, I've got over here, there we go, a pile easily 5 or 6 feet high. It doesn't look it, but it is, of cracked and dried out bamboo. And I don't know. I was considering renting a chipper, but I think better than the chipper, I'm going to do the. I'm just going to see if I can get a good fire going and burn this thing down. But well, it's a mess. I wish I had a. There's a few times I regret choosing a zero turn mower instead of a tractor, but very few times. Because I mean, honestly, it would have been a double the expense, and really, I mean, this has been a very efficient to work with. Whereas big tractor would be with all the trees and everything. However, I gotta tell you, having something small with a bucket would be really cool on this property. Really cool. I could get a lot of use out of it. Or at least until, yeah, I mean, really only until I clear this up. Once it's all cleared up, then what the heck am I going to use it for? I'll probably end up buying a used one from somebody, a couple grand, 3 grand. But there are other priorities. Got to get water out here. Got to get electric out here. Got to start the building as soon as I can afford it, and as soon as I'm ready. But in the meantime, I'm having a blast. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put a hammock out here. Definitely gonna put a hammock out here. Crickets sound nice. Haven't heard them in a while. Found out some interesting news, which is kind of nice. Is the if you'll notice, let me peer through the. If you can, you can see through that area there. The neighbor's dock is well into the water, and I found out that what I thought was my property edge is actually 40 feet from my property edge. So um, there are places where I'm actually touching the water, and if I build a dock there, I mean, granted, if the water level drops, no big deal. I'll have a dock in the air. But if the water level rises, at least to where it's at now, I'm going to be a good foot or two inside the water. So that's nice. That's a lakefront. I always thought I was pretty far away. Thanks to a neighbor letting me know that no, I made a mistake, or rather, surveyors did. But Alex, if you're listening, I'll tell you all about that when we chat. What a wonderful sunset. I got the sun behind the tree because, frankly, I don't want it in my eyes. Yeah, I think I'm gonna turn in. Al, you have a rest of your drive home. Have a great drive, and I'll talk to you later on tonight. Um, I'm gonna call it a day and head back up. I'll take you guys back up with me. Oh. Well, folks, have a wonderful day. I'll catch you later. Good night.